Hey, Husker fans, welcome back to the Husker Big Red YouTube channel. I'm Chris Peterson, and joining me, as always, is Danny Gillette. And we're back here for another video here this morning, and we're going to talk about our old buddy, Scott Frost, who kind of
Mm,
set the media world on fire in Nebraska this week with some of his comments at the Big 12 Media Days. Of course, he is the head coach once again at UCF after a 16-31 record at Nebraska during a four and a half year tenure. That was one of the worst in the Nebraska history. And he was asked, if he learned anything, if he would change anything, pretty basic stuff. And when he was asked what he learned at Nebraska, his response was, "Don't take the wrong job." That's what he said that he learned is don't take the wrong job. And that, of course, created a firestorm with Nebraska fans. And then if you haven't seen it, he said, "I wouldn't leave UCF unless it was someplace you could win a national championship. I got tugged in a direction to try to help my alma mater and didn't really want to do it. It wasn't a good move. I'm lucky to get back to a place where I was a lot happier." So yeah, Danny, what are your thoughts on Scott Frost's just inability to take accountability for his failures with Nebraska?
these are really interesting comments because he signed a 7-year, $35 million deal in 2017. And, for him to say he wouldn't leave UCF unless it was someplace he could win a national championship, and then also he got tugged in a direction to try to help his alma mater. He had 35 million reasons why he went to his alma mater. He didn't get tugged. Give me a break. He didn't really want to do it. Give me a break. Had he played his cards right, he would have cemented himself on another level in Nebraska history, not just as a player but as a coach. He definitely wanted to do it. He wanted the money. He wanted to be the favorite son, and he knew he could do whatever the hell he wanted to do, and that's why he didn't work out there, among other reasons. I mean, I don't know. These comments just seem like revisionist history, and it's just I don't believe them at all.
Yeah, I think revisionist history is a good a good point, or just tone deaf. It's like, well, I mean, he's had a strange relationship with the state of Nebraska since he was a high school recruit. I mean, since he chose to go play for Bill Walsh over Tom Osborne, and then he transferred back. And then, his first year he started in place, not in place, but he took over for Tommy Frazier. And, they had a couple of not bad losses, but a couple of games that people felt they shouldn't have lost. And so, he did redeem himself, won the national championship. And so it's like, man, I really just want to like you. I don't want to have to sit here and hate you and have these ill feelings. Like, I feel like Nebraska fans, for the most part, when they saw Scott Frost getting hired at UCF, were like, cool, man, like, good luck to you. I know some people were like, oh, I hope he fails. I hope he gets fired again. But I would say the overwhelming majority of Nebraska fans were like, you know what? This dude won a national championship for us. He was a great quarterback for us. Yes, he wasn't a great head coach, but you know what? Let bygones be bygones. Like, I still want to cheer and root for Scott Frost, but this makes it really difficult to cheer for you, Scott Frost. I mean, it's just, you couldn't have gone up there and said, I didn't do a very good job in Nebraska. I learned, that maybe I shouldn't hire my friends as coaches and stick with them even when it's clear it's not working. Maybe, I shouldn't be drunk all the time. Maybe I shouldn't be partying all the time instead of, meeting with recruits like Dylan Raiola. And not to rehash all that stuff up, but if I was an administrator at UCF and the only thing that Scott Frost has learned from this entire experience is not to take the wrong job, like, I think that that's sort of a red flag. And hopefully he really didn't mean that. And I mean, I say this because Scott Frost, for whatever reason, is terrible in these press conferences. Like, I remember Big Ten Media Days, and he just completely, he had no opening statement, just looked completely
Yeah,
unprepared. So again, I don't know
his
why.
post game press conferences weren't much better either.
Yeah, so he still isn't, very good in these types of situations. And so, I mean, I don't know. It is difficult. And if you listen to, like some things that Steve Sipple said, I mean, I think Scott was torn about this job, but I mean, I don't, I don't know I mean, I think there's a lot of reasons why he ultimately failed, but I think the biggest part is that I don't think he ever gave it his true, the old college try. You're going to give it the best that you have. I don't think he ever gave Nebraska his best, his 110%. And that's the thing that, looking back on it, still frustrates me and angers me the most. Is I don't think Scott Frost can look at himself in the mirror and say, I gave that Nebraska job everything that I had, and it just wasn't good enough. He didn't. he wasn't prepared, and he had a lot of personal issues, I think, going on, and so there's a lot of reasons why he failed, but it wasn't because it was the wrong job. It was because he had a lot of personal issues that he just couldn't deal with.
He wanted the glory, but all the other stuff off the field and even on, his on-field decisions, prevented him from getting it done. I mean, keeping defensive coordinator Eric Shenander, basically riding Adrian Martinez into the ground. And I'm not blaming Adrian Martinez, especially looking back on everything now. I mean, for Frost, it was Adrian Martinez or bust. And the quarterback recruiting wasn't the best at the time. But Frost loved Adrian Martinez, and, not just on the offensive side of the football, but, for special teams, the running back room. There was just a whole host of errors on the field that didn't contribute to winning. And I still remember actually watching the game with you, the Georgia Southern game, and we kind of knew that was going to be the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah, and you could predict. I think we predicted what was going to happen. They were going to take the lead, and Nebraska would go down and get in field goal range and miss it, and that's what happened. And Trev Alberts made the move the next day. So yeah, it's interesting to think that. I really truly hope, like, for Scott Frost, like, if he's going to have success at this job, that's not the only thing he learned from his time in Nebraska. Like that. I mean, if you look at Bill Belichick, not to bring him back, but I mean, his first tenure as an NFL head coach did not go well with the Browns. I mean, there was problems at quarterback, etc. But he learned a lot. He learned a lot from that, and I think that failure helped him have success in New England. I don't think he would have had the same success in New England had he not failed and learned, some of those things. That's how people learn. That's how I learn from things. I screw it up, then I learn from those mistakes, and then I do it better the next time. And I don't know why Scott Frost couldn't have said, it didn't work out at Nebraska. I love the place. I love the fans. I wish it had. I gave it my best. I learned a lot of things moving forward from it, and hopefully I'll come out a better head coach this time. Would that have been that hard? Would it have been that hard? Nebraska fans would have been fine with that. It's just like, dude, for the love of God, please consult with a PR expert at some point in your career, because either you really are just terrible with the media, or you're just, have no clue, or have lost touch with reality. I don't know which one it is, but it wasn't a good look.
Or not even that. Just say, I'm focused on coaching at UCF and I'm moving forward. I mean,
yeah, I'm grateful for the opportunity at Nebraska. I'm sad it didn't work out, but I'll always be fond of my time there as a player. And it's just, he could have been appreciative. Like you said, he got paid a lot of money, and he got paid a lot of money not to coach there because he was so bad. And, he could have expressed some gratitude, for that, and getting the chance to coach at Nebraska. So yeah, I don't know. It rubbed me the wrong way. And it's disappointing, because I do want to cheer for him. I'll never forget, the miracle in Missouri. I'll never forget the Orange Bowl and him campaigning for Tom Osborne to get that national championship. I will always be thankful to Scott Frost for that. And that's why I've tried not to rip him as hard as maybe some other people, although I have at times, because I think he disrespected the job by not giving it 110%. So, that's my final thought on it.
And you saw it even with player development once Matt Rule came on board. Guys like Ty Robinson and Tommy Hill, they really flourished once Scott Frost left. I mean, I can remember where I thought, Robinson was a complete bust, and now he's, in NFL draft pick with the Philadelphia Eagles. And Hill had, when healthy, he was one of the most, dynamic corners in college football. So, I mean, even his player development wasn't there, and he recruited well. He even recruited the state of Florida pretty well, just based off, composite rankings and recruiting rankings and things like that. But he was just never able to put it all together.
Yep. So we'll see. I mean, hopefully he finds success. Like I said, I wish him well. I hope he does well at UCF. Always be grateful for what he did as a player, but I do truly, hopefully hope that he learned more than he just don't take the wrong job over the last 4 years. So let us know what you guys think in the comments below about all these Scott Frost comments. I know a lot of fans have been fired up, but let us know what you think. Make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, go Big Red.
Go Big Red.